Hi everybody, welcome to yet another video. So today we're having a little look at the Anest Iwata W300 WB. Now this is a 1.4, we'll come to that a bit more later. This video is quite short and it's quite an old video, it's probably about 4 years old, so I'll try and fit as much in as I can, but it's literally just a spraying in this, so it makes the video quite short. So I've got to get a lick on really to say what I wanted to say. But the reason for digging it out was I'd had a few people email me, well not email me, message me, sorry, this week or in the last week about the LPH 300 and the W300 WB, which is this one here. Now quite a few people, I think it's on about 50 or 55,000 views I think. The video I did of the top 12 miniguns, which reminds me I must get a top 10 or top 12 normal gun out as well, because quite a few people would want to watch that I think. Anyway, going back to miniguns, they messaged me about the LPH 300 in relation to the W300 WB, and I thought, well, I'm sure I've got a video of the WB and we haven't visited it for quite a while, so I've dug the old video out. So apologies for the video quality. The finish of the quality of finish is actually quite good. Well, it is very good really, because this gun is very easy to get a good finish with, but apologies for the quality of the video as in the colours and that. It's quite an old setup, as I say, it's about 4 years ago. Anyway, talking about the guns, this is the W300 WB with a 1.4 tip. And at the time, I think I remember saying, and it still holds true now, is that in 1.2 is the best configuration of this gun really, because you can take the fluid back a bit on the 1.4 and then it performs the same as the 1.2. But I thought when I got this, and I got it from Painting Tools Japan, I will mention them because I get quite a lot of stuff from them. They don't do me any favours as far as I know. The only thing I would say to you is I messaged them on Instagram. I think I will put an email that you can contact them on. You normally get things a little bit cheaper if you go direct, because I presume they don't have to pay the eBay fees because they've got an eBay shop. Anyway, but I'll put a few bits in the description about that. But I got this from Painting Tools Japan, and as far as I know, in Japan, the W300 WB is only available in 1.4. It was never introduced in 1.2 or 1.0, which you can get in other areas, including the UK and Europe. But what I found was that in 1.4, it just delivers a little bit too much fluid, and it just overwhelms the setup slightly. So you can back the fluid off, which is what I did here. It's on about 3 turns out, and full fluid is about 4 and a bit turns out, and then it performs like the 1.2. So you know, it's just as good as the 1.2. In Japan now they've actually got the Kiwami Free 1.4, which is just the Kiwami version of this, just the newer version. Sprays exactly the same. But going back to what people were saying about the LPH 300, there's a subtle difference between this, because this has a free split tip and the LPH 300 has a 4 split tip. Now I've got the LPH 300 in 1.4 and that performs superbly in 1.4, but with that extra slit in the tip it makes it a bit slower, and I think that actually has the same effect of knocking back the fluid in the WB version. So both of them are on a par with each other. If I had to give it to anything, I probably would give it to the LPH 300, just because it's just a bit easier to use, I think, because you can just leave it on full fan, full fluid, and just spray clear coat really well. I don't spray medium solids clear coat. I normally use high solids clear coat. I know a lot of people, especially in the US, so I'm told anyway, use a medium solids, but you can see the results of it. Superb. This is all off the gun, nothing's been polished, nothing's been touched. It is straight afterwards. It was before the days of me doing stuff outside, you know, the next day or a couple of days afterwards to let the initial initial flash off go, so that it does just dulled slightly. Most clear coat will dull slightly within a few days, especially this one because it's a U-pole clear coat. It's not particularly good, but you can see the finish is absolutely superb. Now we've got one of our test panels. I've got a couple of wings that I use, and doing this video I actually got one of the wings out. And it's just to show you guys, really, at the time, it was just to show you how it relates to car stuff. I've stopped doing that these days, so any old videos might have this car wing thrown in at the end or at the start, just to let you guys know how it relates to doing a car, because I appreciate a lot of people buy their stuff to actually do a car, but what was in my head then was, it's amazing how many people view this channel that actually spray guitars. So I'm going to try and get myself a guitar, not that I'm musical at all, but I'm going to try and get myself an old guitar, de-string it, strip it, strip it back down, and we'll do a bit of painting. I'll do a bit of experimenting with spraying guitars, because it would appear that a lot of people that watch this channel actually spray guitars. But here's what it's like in the automotive world, and as you can see, it gives an absolutely superb finish. But you do, well, I do anyway, I do like to back that fluid off a little bit, because it's just slightly too much for the tip. You often, when you increase the tip size, you will increase the speed of the gun, which is what I was aiming to do by getting a 1.4, because I was perfectly happy with the 1.2 and the 1.0 I've got. But I thought if I get a 1.4 set up, that will just speed it up and everything else will be equal, and it really isn't. So by all means, get the Kiwami Free 1.4 or the WB 1.4, but you will probably find that you need to back the fluid off a little bit. Easily done, it's not a problem at all. Works just as well for base coat, these guns. Again, you wouldn't normally use it on full fluid for base coat anyway. It depends what you're doing, but I would suggest probably with a gun like this, you're probably blending it more than doing complete sides of a car or something. So I wouldn't think you would have it on full fluid for too much of the time. So yeah, what I'm saying for clear coat goes for base coat as well. But as you can see, a superb finish. Sorry the video's so quick. I've got loads of things to say, but I just haven't really got time to say them, because you just run out of time. But yeah, that was just answering a question. I thought, I've got an old video, I'll dig it out. So I'll try and get something else up at the weekend. I'll put this up on hopefully Friday evening, and maybe we'll get something out on Sunday or something that's a little bit more up to date, so that I'm not just fobbing you off with something old. All right guys, thanks for watching as always. Cheers, bye bye.